Nexus here, and we are looking at the Motorola RAZR. Now, I know the phone's been out for a little bit, but it's still quite a popular device, especially here in Canada and in certain parts of the US and so on like that. And I said, you know what? Let me get my hands on it. It still generates pretty good heat. I'm like, let me take a look and see what this phone's all about. So, let me just give you guys a quick spec and a quick look at the phone and some of the things it can do. I'm not going to go too depth in the OS, because I'll be honest, the OS is pretty standard for Gingerbread. It is what it is, so, you know, I'm not going to go, but there are some nifty things it does. I'll show you some of those quick little UI interface things that are nice, right? So first thing, let's talk about the phone itself. Now, looking at the back, first off, it's got this very nice kind of feel to it. It's almost like a carbon fiber look, but feels kind of like this nice meshy feel. It's very, very nice actually, so it's a nice little touch. On the back up front here, you've got your 8 megapixel camera, which also records in HD 1080. There you go, 1080p, there you go. Of course, you got an LED flash as well and an onboard speaker. There it is right there. Now, around the phone bottom, there's nothing going on along the bottom. Over here, you've got your kind of lock button and power button. Of course, you've got your volume rockers. On the top, you've got your 3.5mm jack. You've got your see, that's your HDMI port from micro HD to regular HD, and then that's your USB/charging port. And around here, probably the thing I do kind of like, it's small, but I like it, is that this opens up and directly that's where your micro SIM, it is micro SIM, not regular SIM, and your micro SD card can go in there. Now, on the phone itself, it does come with 16 gigs flash memory built right in, and it's upgradable to 64 gigs, I believe it is. So that's the max I've heard, anyways, anyone done. So that, you know, that's a really cool. Also, at the time when this launched, this was considered the thinnest phone ever launched at 7.1 millimeters, except a little hump there, which is 11.1, right around there. But I don't know if anything's beat it since. Not that I've heard of, but don't quote me on that. Some other little quick specs on there. It is a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor that it's running on, and it's got 1 gig of onboard RAM. So good stat and spec for the phone. It runs well. It runs smooth, actually. Now, when you power it up, you'll notice that there is some small differences in the phone itself. When you look at with the Moto interface versus, you know, Samsung's, or, you know, even the stock Android interface. Now, that's the first thing you'll notice. I like that. You see when you put it to sleep and it does that? Apparently, ICS does that. For example, I've done recently a Samsung Galaxy S2 upgrade to ICS, and it does not do that. But I believe I've heard that the Nexus does it and things like that. So when I get my hands on that phone, hopefully I get it soon, I can confirm that. But, you know, again, nice little feature. And you'll notice little things here that, you know, for a lot of other phones don't do. Now, aside from the usual stuff, the time and everything at the top, and of course, your little notification, battery life, reception, etc. The other thing you'll notice here is that you can actually put the phone in silent directly from on the phone itself. A nice little feature. You can also access your camera directly from here. So again, nice little feature. Let's actually do that first. I can show you guys the camera. Camera quality is actually quite nice. I like how they kind of do a layout. You know, you can have all your features here, which you can slide that up if you press right to there. There you go. Slide that up or slide it down. Right, so that's cool. Of course, as usual on Android, you can access your videos or pictures from there. I even like when you take a picture and it has this nice little shutter sound, you know? It's a nice little feature. So you can let's close that back out for a second. Now, of course, then the lock screen is your standard kind of, you know, slide across lock. Now, the other thing to note is that although it doesn't have, for example, when you look at the app drawer, right, it doesn't have that upward sliding app drawer that kind of folds around as you see on some devices. Instead, it just has the standard slide across, but it kind of moves across almost like you're flipping through, like you're in a cube and you're flipping through the cube, which is a nice little feature. I haven't added too many apps on there, so I haven't tested how the speed runs with a bunch of apps on there. I will tell you, interestingly, with my S2, even before I did the ICS upgrade, and I have a ton of apps on there. I have a bunch of email clients running on there. I have Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff running on there. By the way, don't forget to check out our Facebook, We Are TMPG. Check out our website, themediapurchaseguide.com. Lots of information on there, lots of stuff. We got, you know, Mom and Dad Know Best, car sections. We got all just different news coming soon for games, movies. That page just came out, game, movie, and mobile coming soon page. And of course, there's a contact us section, so if you want to contact any of the team members, including myself, feel free to do so. Back to the point, of course. Is that even with all that stuff running on my Samsung Galaxy versus this one does not have all that, I did find that my Galaxy seems to be a little bit crisper a little bit smoother. Not, I don't know. I think part of that is the UI, but I also just think that it's, it's the 1.5 versus the 1.2. I just think it makes that little bit of a difference. But you know what? I did notice that it was quite smooth, and I think that's mostly to do with the UI. Aside from that, even when you scroll through the menu here, like everything moves like it's almost like you're in a cube and it's just flipping around, which I've seen on some Android devices. Also, if you look in the background as I'm flipping through the live wallpaper, I like how it moves, which is something my Galaxy does not do, and a lot of the other Android phones I've seen does not do. But it's again a nice little feature. Other things I noticed that doesn't come directly with other Android devices, things like that, is that these toggle buttons are actually individual. So you can choose which toggle buttons you want to have for your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, for if you want to go airplane mode, things like that. Which, again, nice little feature. It's nothing significant, but nice little feature. But I'll tell you, other than that, everything's the same. You got your live wallpapers, your settings, your usual email clients. Camera works the same, email works the same, everything else works the same. So no real difference or surprise there, I'll be honest. Everything seems to be, what you expect out of Android, but it does have a few nifty little features. And again, if you look right now, it is still quite smooth. Again, not quite as crisp as the S2 or obviously the iPhone, but it's still nice. All in all, if you are in the market for a phone and you're looking for Android, it is a really good recommendation. I can see why people are still interested in this phone. It is deceptively light. I mean, almost to the point where you feel it may be cheap, but it's not cheap. The quality is actually right there. It is built really well. But if you guys remember the RAZRs from way back in the day, it was the same thing. They used like an aluminum casing. So, there was a little bit of girth to them. There was a little bit of weight. They were lighter. Their size made it feel heavier, but it was still light for what it was. And that's why it was so thin. And this one here is no different. I mean, for how thin it is compared to other devices, yeah, it's still a little bit weighty in that, but then again, you feel the quality in it. The phone moves well, it works well. I can definitely recommend this as an option. If you're in Canada, though, I would be cautious to it. Here's why. For most of the RAZRs in Canada on the Rogers network, and I think the Bell network one as well, and so on like that, it's only at this point upgradable to 2.3.5, so you're still on gingerbread. And pretty much everywhere else in the world, it is actually moving to ICS. I think some parts have actually rolled it out, so ICS is available already. And in some areas, it's coming soon. So I haven't heard anything about a Canadian launch for ICS. I think even in US, there is ICS available for this phone now. So if you're in Canada and you're looking to get the newest software and everything like that, buying this may actually restrict you to that versus getting the ICS, getting the versions like, let's say US, you're buying one that's unlocked, that's open with no problems or, anything like that, you can pretty much upgrade to ICS and you're good to go. So just something to note about the phone itself. But I do recommend it. It works really well. Daddy1424 used it as well, and he likes it. He liked it a lot. He used it for some calling around, and it was great. And I love it too. I tried it as well. Great phone. No problems with it whatsoever. Ran smoothly. No force closes. No issues. No problems. Nothing. All right. So this is the Moto RAZR. If you guys are interested in the market for it, I give it a thumbs up. If you're looking at something else, there is a few devices out there that have come out since they're a little more advanced, but I think you can get this at a pretty good price these days as well. So, hey, it's definitely a good consideration, all right? So, this is Nexus. Take care. Have a good one.